Well, Ulysses, another day has passed in spring training, so we got to get to it. We got to continue our positional competition previews, and we have a task on our hands because we're doing all the outfielders in this episode.
That's right. We've got many names to talk about, a lot of stats, so let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. In fact, we plan to have another mailbag episode with our good buddy Evan Klosky. The peeps enjoy the Klosky appearances, so we'll have them back on Friday's episode. In the meantime, though, we have more pressing matters to tackle, like this outfield competition, who's going to make the roster, who's going to play, and where they're going to play. And let's go ahead and get started, I guess. Who are the candidates? Who are the main players for this?
The main players. Okay, well, that's a lot of names that we already know. Randy Arozarena, left. Jose Siri, center. Josh Lowe. They should be your guys that take 400 plus plate appearances. Yes. And I don't think we disagree on that.
No, assuming they're healthy, I think that absolutely is the move for sure.
Fourth outfielder, I'm thinking Jonny DeLuca. I think Jonny DeLuca, I like what he can do slugging wise. I know the on base might not be so hot for him, but the speed aspect is something I'm like really into. I want to see how he can perform, how he can combine that speed in game time, because we had a very fast center field in Kevin Kiermaier for 10 years. And the whole thing was like, for about 8 years, it was like, dude, stop pretending you're a home run hitter and use the wheels.
Right.
He never really got to squeeze those legs as much as we probably wanted him to. Is Jonny DeLuca going to be the same? Does he have more line drive power than he does? I want to see what he can do. Jonny DeLuca is somebody that I'm like really putting my eye on, and I think he is probably going to get that fourth outfield spot.
That's the line of thinking that I have as well. Everything I've heard and watched with Jonny DeLuca, beyond a cool sounding name, is that he's the real deal, and he does seem like he has a chip on his shoulder and is a gamer. And I'm not trying to make a comparison here, but when I watch him, I get some Randy vibes and tinkling sensation of, I could see him in a single game making an amazing inning-ending diving catch, hitting a bomb, stealing a bag, throwing a runner out. I can see him all doing that within the course of a couple innings or a 9-inning game.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really helps him in the opportunity to land the fourth outfielder spot is that he can play every single outfield position, be it left field, center, or right. I know that some of the scouts had previously said, he's, an average center fielder, but based on what I saw, it looks like he can make any and every type of catch out there in center, be it a leaping grab in the alley or a play at the wall or a backhand snag, whatever it may be. So I don't think he's uncomfortable there. If he was, the Dodgers wouldn't have, run him out there as much as he did in compared to left field and right field and so on.
And he comes from a farm system that knows how to develop these types of players. So that's something else. And he has a chance to get some at bats.
Yeah.
I 100% agree that he's the kind of player that could change the outcome of a game. Like he himself, like he can put the whole team on his shoulders, sort of thing, and make something happen. And I'm glad that you add the fact that he can defend all three spots in the outfield, because we know how the Rays operate. We know that they will have to make defensive switches during the game. They like to keep players off their feet. The rest management, load management, however you want to call it. And besides that, like we talked about on Wednesday's episode, cheekily with Aaron Judge being a Ray, turf. So that these guys are going to need to get rotated. So that's where a lot more at bats can come for him. But I agree, man. If you haven't seen defensive highlights from Jonny DeLuca and you're watching this, go ahead and do yourself a favor. Just put 5 minutes away today and then just Google MLB film room Jonny DeLuca highlights.
Yeah.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised that he's a Ray.
And I think also, and it kind of ties into everything here, the overall athleticism of this group takes a boost when you have a guy like this into the equation. 97th percentile in sprint speed.
Yeah.
I think a guy like him, along with others, are really going to make life difficult on the opposition, whether it's stealing a bag or making a play that's not expected, just causing and creating and wreaking havoc. I think that is really where these pesky Rays can make a foothold. And I don't know how much value you put on it or if any, but there's also something to me that reads when he's able to perform and make plays like he does with one of the blue blood franchises like the Dodgers. To me, it has a little bit more panache and impact than, if he's going out and doing these types of things with, the Reds or Detroit or Miami or something like that. The fact that playing for an organization like that, I don't think he gets afraid of the moment is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
No, and that's completely fair. I mean, it's not the same, and you can ask ball players because they say this all the time. It's not the same to perform with 40,000 people looking at you than when there's 7,000 people looking at you. Like, it's just, there's a different thing. So if you're able to do that at that high level, hopefully you can do it at another. But, you look at this, at the four names that we've talked about. Randy Arozarena, we know who he is. 2020 type guy, 3 times in a row, has stolen home and hit a home run in a playoff game. We know Randy. Jose Siri, a guy who could be 2020, who has stolen home in spring training. We call him El Rayo. Like, we know who he is. Josh Lowe, 2020. When you add DeLuca into this, Kevin, we're talking every single guy with enough at-bats could be a 2020 guy that could potentially do exactly what you said. Put the game on their shoulders and say, boys, today the W is on me.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why the Rays wanted something like him in return for the Tyler Glasnow and Manny Margot trade, in addition to Ryan Pepio, of course, because as much as we don't want to stomach it, we do have to realize that Randy Arozarena is projected or expected to make $8.1 million this year in his first year of arbitration, or first arbitration year. That money's going to add up pretty quickly. And unless the Rays have visions or ideations of an extension, which he's a Scott Boras client, which means that's not happening, at some point, there's going to be a new left fielder in town. And maybe that they're trying to prepare or groom DeLuca for that spot.
Yeah, it's very likely. In fact, if we are organic enough and say take a poll right now, I think if you want to say, is this the last year that Randy Arozarena will be a Ray?
Could be.
I think honestly, I would lean towards that it is, and because I think I would lean towards that it is, I would make sure I go to Game Time and get some tickets to watch what could be Randy's last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. And you know what? The best thing about Game Time is that you can view the seats. So you know what to expect when you buy a set seat. And they're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. In fact, they have this called zone deals. That's where you pick a section and then Game Time picks the seats for big time savings. So if you just want to be in the baseball game, football, basketball, whatever it is, and you just want the best price, Game Time can do that for you. So today, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKED ON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Okay, so we've discussed the fourth outfielder position at length, us coming to an agreement that DeLuca is likely that guy. Who's the fifth outfielder? Is it Palacios? Is it Rosario? Is it somebody else? Do they keep a fifth outfielder?
That's the thing. I don't think there's going to be a per se only outfield guy. In fact, as on Wednesday, we saw Ahmed Rosario being in the starting lineup for the spring training game as a right fielder. So
that's what, when he was signed, that's what the Rays said. He's going to play middle infielder, corner outfielder.
And
that's
so far,
ringing true so far.
That's exactly what's happening. So I don't think there's going to be a guy that's only outfield. So I think it's going to be more likely that Ahmed Rosario is going to take that those at bats when you need that fifth guy to come in. It would probably be Rosario.
Okay, now digging deeper, let's assume or let's suggest or say that there's an injury.
Okay,
to one of the outfielders. What do the Rays do then? What's beyond that? Is that calling up Palacios, or, hey, it's Jonathan Aranda's turn. It's Harold Ramirez's turn. We're seeing Harold Ramirez play outfield in some of the Latin leagues. So, and I guess he's trying to get in better shape as well. He really wants to stay with the Rays.
Yeah.
And not just be pinholed into a DH spot. So
I think if we talk defensively, I think all Rays fans know, what Harold's capabilities are as a left fielder and as a right fielder. If we play this game on February 28th, it does seem like Harold's on the team. So you have to play with that in mind. So that would bring Palacios to AAA. So if there is an injury for Randy, Josh Lowe, or Siri, then I would think Palacios is the one that gets the call up. And then DeLuca already being there would probably slide into center field, or maybe Josh Lowe would. But yeah, that's Palacios would be, I guess, next man up if there is an injury. Yeah.
Okay. Now, getting into sort of the format that we go with, percentage played.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of goes back to what you said at the open of the show of assuming health, Randy Arozarena is playing 150 games. Assuming health, I don't know if the Rays want to try to platoon Jose Siri or if they have visions of him, trying to play as many games as possible. And same thing with Josh Lowe in the lefty-righty platoon.
I think it's just like with Isaac Paredes, just kind of having such a good season that you're like, why am I going to sit this guy against anybody? He's not platoon worth. I think Josh Lowe is at that level right now where why are you sitting him down? Like you unless he's like, dude, I cannot physically go out there, which kind of, it's either like a day-to-day thing that you're like, hey, dude, I had that Taco Bell last night. Cannot go out there. Or, hey, I'm on the IL. Unless that's it, or like a rest day, like he has to be out there. Josh Lowe needs to be out there. So I would not split time with that. I would not split time with Randy. Maybe a little bit with Jose Siri. That's where maybe.
So is that where you're saying that Jonny DeLuca maybe has the most impact or opportunity to get playing time is center field? Because we do know while Siri certainly has loud tools and loud abilities, that swing and miss and some of the swing decisions are downright awful.
Right.
And what was his on base percentage? I mean, if
Not great.
DeLuca comes out here and shows himself to be a more complete, maybe not as flashy player, there might have to be a conversation to be had out there, because I
Yeah.
mean, Randy Arozarena, he's steady Eddie. We're giving him 150 games more or less, occasional rest day and whatnot.
Right.
Josh Lowe, I mean, he had a better season than Randy Arozarena,
Yeah. So
and he's getting paid for a tenth of the cost. That kind of goes back to, maybe the Rays are looking to trade Randy
yeah.
at some point. So I'm with you there. Now, maybe there are some select lefties where it's like, man, Josh Lowe really doesn't have a shot there, but
Well, I mean,
he's really proven himself to be an everyday player, no matter the pitcher. I think at some point you at least have to give him a real true shot at the opportunity to hit lefties.
because that
And if
makes
it
your
doesn't
job
work, if you
easier.
give him, 200 at bat, I mean, however many at bats, over the course of a season or a couple of seasons, like, yeah, he only hits, 120 against lefties. Okay. But he to me seems like it's something that he could grasp and handle.
But also, like, if these guys become mainstays, that makes the job of the front office and Kevin Cash much easier. I know we've been used to the whole platoon thing for now, like, seems 16 years now, and it makes sense to platoon guys. But if you have a like, don't tell me that you wouldn't want a Freddie Freeman out there, a Mookie
Right.
Betts. Like, of course you do. Look at the Atlanta Braves. I mean, they basically had like 6 dudes post almost every day. That would make everybody's job easier. Now, when do you sit Josh Lowe? When do you sit a Jose Siri? I think it would be a little bit more into the analytics of, okay, what about, does this pitcher have certain pitches that move away that are not anyway successful for Josh Lowe's swing path? Like, it's just, he's different.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's get DeLuca in there. Oh, Jose Siri would struggle mightily against this guy because he just paints sliders down and away. Well, Jose Siri's out. Johnny, get out there. Now, that doesn't mean that Jonny DeLuca is going to be better, but what they're trying to do is give at bats to DeLuca and then not, put their regulars in a bad situation. Now, that doesn't really help DeLuca, and that can go with Curtis Mead, that can go with Caminera, with Aranda. Like, the guys that are trying to get at bats sometimes are going to not get so favorable at matchups if you do this strategy.
And I'm fine with that, because my point of view is roll Randy out there, roll Lowe out there, and see what happens, instead of like trying to play a game of, hey, we need to squeeze out as many at bats as we can for Jonny DeLuca. I love Jonny DeLuca and interested to see what he can provide. And that kind of brings up another point or a question of, at the end of the day, how much action is he going to get if the 3 mainstays are healthy? I mean, is it, 200 at bats, 250 at bats, 300 at bats, 65, 70, 75 games? How does that all work out over the course of 162?
I could see him getting 200 plate appearances. Okay. So getting what? That's a third of what the plate appearances are. So a third of the games. I don't think that's a bad gig for a, hey, this is your first real shot. Here's like 50, 60 games to get out there. Not bad. And it could be even more games, because he might come in as a defensive replacement. Like, hey, Randy, get out of there. We're winning by 10. It's the 6th inning. Go, Johnny. Go, Johnny, go. Like, that could also be a thing, that how they use him.
Yeah. And injuries inevitably will happen. So there will be opportunities there, built-in rest days, or you just want Randy to DH, whatever it may be. There's going to be, I don't think there will be a lack of opportunities for DeLuca. I don't think necessarily he's yet the full-time player. He might matriculate into that role in the future. But really, if you're a Rays fan, you should be excited by the prospect of having a tooled up Josh Lowe, a tooled up Randy Arozarena, and a tooled up Jose Siri. That's a fun outfield. I can't remember a lot of Rays outfield combinations that that bring that to the table. Because, I mean, there's been years where it was, one side you had Carl Crawford, the other side you had Gabe Gross. Like,
yeah, or Gabe Kapler, right? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't, sometimes Desmond Jennings and Kiermaier and Upton, like we've had those, but this does seem like 4 deep, where it could be really, really fun.
Right.
4 deep.
All right, we have more to discuss and close on this, but first we have to tell you this. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON, to shoot your shot today. FanDuel, they are the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. So, Ulises, we touched on this a little bit, not really sure how much more we can dig into, but the dark horse, deep cut candidates for outfield playing time. We mentioned Rosario, we mentioned Ramirez, we mentioned Palacios. I guess we mentioned Aranda. Like, is there anybody else, or have we pretty much covered all our bases there?
We've covered our bases. I mean, if you want to go dark, I mean, could Meisner get a shot? Greg Jones could get a shot. Like, yeah, they could, but do I see that as feasible? Probably not.
Right. Yeah, and like I've said on previous episodes, like if Austin Shenton is getting meaningful at bats in action in a Rays uniform this year, something has gone terribly awry. Same thing if you see Cameron Meisner in a Rays uniform for some extended period of time, a couple weeks or a month here and there. Like it really should not get to that point. I think that they have enough versatility and maneuverability to weather the storm and get through all this without having to go that far deep into the 40-man or the depth chart, whatever it may be. So
and I think they do that by the philosophy that they've had, get versatile guys. So like if one goes out, you don't really have to go down the list of the depth chart. You have already somebody in the locker room who can step into that role. That does help. But now that we've basically done every position out there except for catching, we left catching last. We haven't done it yet.
We're hoping that the Rays sign somebody or make some sort of notable trade that we can have more fun with that episode, because we'll still be able to have fun with it. I'm not quite sure if we'll be able to make a full episode out of it. It might be a segment or 2 segments tied into something else, because right now it's the Renee Pinto show, the Renee Pinto hour.
And which, I will save my opinion for that episode. But having said that, like everything else we've discussed, so, doing my Excel sheet, like, I was putting all the names down, the 13 position players, and as opening day is coming around with their positions, and I found something that I wanted to share with you guys, and let me know if you can, if you're on YouTube, this is going to be way easier for you guys to understand here. Mm-hmm. But I'm showing all the 13 names that I could come up with for opening day. So you got your 2 catching positions, Pinto, and then either Driscoll or Jackson. Note how I put Driscoll first before Jackson. That might be a biased opinion. Although he did have an amazing catch like a couple days ago. I don't know if you saw it, Kevin. It was pretty rad by Logan there. I got Yandy, Bilao, Caballero, Paredes. Those are locks. Mead should be in there. Randy, Siri, Josh Lowe. We're still all good. And then you need 3 more. If we're playing by the rules on February 28th, Harold is in the team. And Harold is going to make the team. Jonny DeLuca, your 4th outfielder. And then Ahmed Rosario, who can cover shortstop, second, and then a corner outfielder. So for me right now, I have Aranda not making the team, Richie Palacios not making the team. Waltz is out for injury, and Basabe
Yeah.
not making the team. So, do you agree with this group of 13 players, or would you kind of switch it around a
No,
little bit?
100%. I'm with you on all that, and that kind of speaks to the depth, the young, unproven depth to some extent that the Rays have. But come late April, May, you're going to have to, I would think, carve out a spot for Taylor Walls as well somewhere.
Yeah.
And then who gets the boot at that point? What if, Rosario might be killing it. I would assume he'll do just as well, if not better, than what Walls can do. I mean, definitely offensively, but just overall value, if you will. It's going to be a tough decision and tough call. I mean, maybe, I guess that's the next question is you call up Taylor Walls, who gets sent down in his place?
Right. So I think,
and you don't even have Caminero on this list anywhere.
Exactly. So you know what? Let me add him right here. Exactly. Let's even make it more difficult. That's okay. So probably the first guy to get the call up would be Taylor Walls, right? For out of his injury time.
Right.
It has to be either Mead, Harold traded, and that's it. I don't see any other option, honestly. I think it would kind of be.
They wouldn't send down DeLuca and keep Rosario up, although I guess who would be your backup center fielder?
Exactly. You need a backup center fielder. Are they okay with Josh Lowe being a backup center fielder? If they are, then yeah, I think you could put DeLuca out and get Walls in there. But I think it would be really stretching your outfield thin if you get DeLuca out of there. Like, you need 4 outfield guys.
Right.
So if you do that, I don't know. I just see it as...
That's going to be a tough call. Yeah, I think those are your options, really. Sending down Mead or trading Harold. And if Mead is, doing very well, then it's trading Harold and getting what you can for him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless the Rays really throw a curveball and say, we're going back to the old days. We're keeping one catcher on the roster. We're not having a backup. Run Pinto into the ground.
How would you feel about, would it be crazy? I don't know how to word this question.
But I think it will all end up working out because
injuries happen.
Injuries.
But okay. In that scenario where it's either trade Harold, put Curtis Mead down to AAA because Taylor Walls is ready. What about can you trade Taylor Walls?
That's an option as well.
Is that too much of a curveball? Like, do you see that happening at all in any scenario in 2024?
I mean, they do love his defense.
They love it. They can't get enough of it. It's like me with ice cream.
I guess it goes back to, if maybe Caballero shows that he can't really crack it, and then Ahmad Rosario has bad rankings at the shortstop position. So who's going to be your go-to shortstop in that point? I think they like having Taylor Walls around for insurance. You don't necessarily want to have to use him each and every day, but just having that comfort factor of shortstop, we good. Second base, we good. Third base, we good.
Yeah, he's kind of like DeLuca in the outfield. Like, you can't just get rid of him. But
and I've said this with Taylor Walls, like, not to go into Taylor Walls episode here, but
sure,
I think it'd be more, maybe not, I guess, personal opinion, but I think he should go the Cedric Mullins route, or the route that others have gone, where it's just focusing on hitting from one side instead of trying to be a switch hitter at the major league level. Just try to hit from the left side where you're facing majority righties, or whichever side behooves you to get the most playing time in the future. And that way, that's one less thing spreading him thin, in addition to playing multiple positions at the big league level.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. He's splitting his time in half with the batting practice, having to be a switch hitter. Like, it's not like, so no,
it's not like it's really helping him all that much.
It's really not. It's really not. Like, squeeze what you do very well. And, Neander was saying this in an interview a couple of days ago. Like, we just emphasize on every player that we get what they do best.
Yeah.
What do they do well? Like, we got to really make them understand what it is that we see in them. And so, look, if that's something that could help them even reach better heights for Taylor Walls, and that would be to just focus on one side of the plate, go for it, kid. Go for it. Yeah.
Whatever your strong suit is, maybe just go with that. So, no, that's a good list to put up there, which makes for some fun times, and maybe makes the job of Eric Neander a little bit difficult of having to figure out how you're gonna to work all this through. But
Yeah,
all we've heard is Harold Ramirez trade rumors. So that might be the move that's forthcoming, especially if the Rays feel that they need some additional pitching help. And again, guys get too expensive. They trade him for a prospect that has a lot of control and doesn't have to be that's not Rule 5 eligible. So it just kind of lengthens that route a little bit for them. So quick couple things here before we end. I know we're going a little bit long. Which of the outfielders has the highest WAR this season between Siri, Lowe, Randy? Who you got?
Josh Lowe.
And how would you order it? Would it be Lowe, Randy, Siri, or
That's it?
All right,
Josh, Randy, and Siri. Yeah, I just, and that's not a knock on Randy. I think Randy is going to do Randy things, but Josh Lowe is just going to take a really big step, and that would be huge for the Rays.
That means Randy's getting traded sooner rather than later. If Josh Lowe making $800,000 outputs more value than Randy making $9 million, I don't care how much they're taking in marketing wise. It's time that the Rays are going to say, all right, we're ready to pull the plug now. As much as people are going to hate it.
Yes.
They've hated other moves before. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing, we've been talking, obviously, full outfield episode here. I want you to name me 6 right fielders in Rays history.
6 right fielders in Rays history. Okay, Gabe Gross.
Let me add an addendum here. Guys that we have not mentioned on the
Kapler.
show.
Does Kapler count?
Since 2008. He's not listed as a yearly starter.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to say no.
Right field. Avisail Garcia.
That would be correct. 2019.
And you said since 2008?
Since 2008.
Ben Zobrist.
Correct.
Manny Margot.
I'll give that one to you. I know I said no on Gabe Gross, but I feel like that was such a memorable
right
throw in that I put out. So, okay. Margot.
Since 2008. Did Rocco play enough? No, I don't think so. I'm not going to go Rocco. Right field. Corey. No, Corey played left field and DH. I'm trying to go in the 24. Oh, Matt Joyce.
Matt Joyce, correct. I was waiting on that one.
Thank
your
you.
buddy, your workout buddy.
Workout buddy, Matt Joyce.
An investment buddy too.
Yeah.
Could be.
God, man, I'm blanking. How many do I have? 4, 5?
You've got 4 right now. I need 2
4.
more.
I need 2 more. Damn. Can you
kick
help me out with
yourself
years?
for not naming these.
Can you? Yeah. Can you give me years on this?
You're missing.
Oh wait. 2014, when KK was a rookie, he played right field. Kevin Kiermaier.
He's not listed here.
Oh, come on. But he did.
2013, 2017. I'm just going by what's on Baseball Reference.
Okay. Baseball Reference are wrong.
Between 2013 to 2018, there's a couple different names.
2013 to 2014. Oh, my God. I'm blanking, dude. I hate this. All right. What's up? Tell me.
Will Myers.
Mother.
Steven Souza Jr. Carlos Gomez.
This sucks.
Your favorite player in race history, Hunter Renfroe.
There's a couple San Diego guys there. Okay. And Renfroe and Myers. All right. You got me. I hate myself now. Thanks.
Hey, I'm just going by what's on the list here. Copy and paste. All right. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Stay safe, and I got to exit full screen here before we get situated. And have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow with our buddy Evan Klosky on the program. Stay tuned.